Hello and welcome to Reframe. At Reframe, we believe in deconstructing norms, beliefs, and practices with the aim of finding out what works and what doesn't work anymore. We believe that the thing that makes us superior above machinery and artificial intelligence as human beings is our ability to stop and to think. And today we are talking about post-campus pressure and early career pressure. My name is Naya, and I am hosting Simon Kagambire, and we are going to be delving into post-campus real-life pressures. When you leave campus with a paper in hand and your dreams in sight, seemingly, what happens is that you're forced to make an early decision. Do you take a job? Do you start a business? But what we find is that many people often prefer to be on the other end. The people that have jobs wish they were in business, and the people that are in business wish they had the stability of employment. Which is which? Is it a case of grass is greener on the other side? That and many more are some of the issues that we are going to be talking about today. Simon.
Yes, please.
Good to have you on the show.
Very proud and honored to be on the show.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you, sir.
So this thing that we are talking about today, post-campus, early career pressure. People come from campus with a lot of dreams, a lot of ambitions, and very, very quickly they already have to decide. Sometimes the decision is made for them because it's not that the jobs are readily available and waiting. So many people go into business not because they want, but because that's the only option available to them. But even the ones who get jobs wish that maybe they had a little bit of leeway as the ones who are self-employed do. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Naya. My thoughts are actually, it is an issue that we have to look at the root cause of all this.
Yeah.
It goes back to mentorship and parenting. It is very, very important for people, for any person that wants to take any direction in life, to have a purpose in life. One of the challenges we have, most students who have gone through school, even me inclusive, you study and the way you're programmed is that you're going to study and get a job and earn some money. But that should not be the case. You need to first discover yourself. What is your purpose in life? And when that comes to your mind, that is what will drive the decisions you take in life. For example, I don't actually agree with students who go to the university and more into career. They want to get jobs.
Yeah.
The essence of education is, for example, to enhance maybe your analytical levels, your thinking, problem solving, so that it can empower the purpose you have in life.
Yes.
It is very, very important because in Africa, because of the welfare system and the economy, we have very limited options.
Yeah.
However educated and brilliant you are, it might not be possible to get a job. But God has given us gifts.
Yes.
You can be a good musician, you can be good at business, maybe marketing, you can be a good public speaker. Why don't you first develop that talent, that gift that God has given you? As you discover your purpose in life, and then the rest will come. That is my thinking.
Okay. So what you're saying is that the thing that informs the decision to get a job or to start a business is really first in discovering where one's purpose lies.
Yes, please.
But you see, a lot of the time, that decision comes when you are 20, 21. That's usually the age when people are finishing campus. And arguably, that's probably a decision to make even while deciding what to study at university. But don't you think that that's rather a young age to be able to have fully discovered your purpose?
Well, of course, you cannot discover. Self-discovery is a continuous process. Yeah. You'll do something and you realize that you're good at this and you even do better to it. That's why I talked about parenting and mentorship.
Yeah.
In Europe, you'll find a young child is maybe wanting to go into career, is planning to have a PhD, and they want to go into research.
Yes.
You're getting my point. But most of us, honestly, in Africa, you are studying and you don't actually know what you're going to be. Someone will ask you, what kind of job do you want? And you're like, anything. We've seen this on interviews.
Yes.
They're like, for me, I can do anything, but you don't have a particular, kind of target as an individual. So the biggest challenge is mentorship. Down from the root cause, that is what I'm talking about. The parents should help students identify themselves. If your student loves music, buy her a keyboard.
Yes.
And let her play the music. If your student loves reading, buy him these books so that he can strengthen those values and those skills in research.
Yes.
And when they do that, it will be very much easier for them to discover their purpose in life.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this is, honestly, jobs are almost scarce in Africa. And particularly Uganda. So, are you going to wait for a job to come? The fact is, the job might come. But before it comes, what are you doing to survive? You're getting my point?
Speaking of survival, one of the things that drives the decision to get a job or to start a business, and maybe another reason why many people who are in employment feel like it's better maybe to be on the other side, is the thing of livelihood. Is it that livelihood is better on the other side? Maybe there is more money in self-employment, or maybe there is more money in employment, because those are the reasons that people give for feeling like, I'm in self-employment, I should probably find a job, or I'm in employment, I am tied down here, I should probably start a business and maybe I'll be earning better.
Well, I do not want to compare the two and say this one is better than the other. I think the most important thing, like I have told you, is once you have discovered yourself, if you're going into business, definitely you will need capital. And how do you get that capital, for example, without a job? First of all, you have identified the special skills that you have.
Yes.
You can sing in a band, then you have the culture of saving. You start saving. And maybe start a Rolex store, start a saloon. You're getting my point?
Yes.
And the business will grow. Remember, you have a degree and you want to be a marketing manager, you have dreams of being a good researcher, but the opportunity is not coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
So if you are getting that saving culture into yourself and you're having this kind of business, then the job will come later. You don't have much pressure, because we are looking at the pressures, the social pressures. If you have a lot of pressure, then you make very many mistakes. But if at least you can have something to eat, and have that 1,000 shillings for transport to look for a job, you will even approach that office with confidence. You're getting my point?
Yes.
So my point here, I'm trying to tell you this because I'm looking at from our perspective, from our Ugandan perspective. And I'm talking about the majority who might not have the opportunity of getting jobs easily or soon. And the job might never come. I'm simply saying, God has given you a special gift that you have not discovered. Discover it and use it to make money. Start from there.
Okay. And then on the thing of mentorship, another reason why people make a case for employment is that the people who start in business and never have the opportunity of starting in employment miss out on mentorship, because usually what a job gives you, apart from a stable income, is a person who has gone ahead of you in a given field. And as you work under them, you start to see how they run the company, how they handle different challenges, so that by the time you step out and start your own maybe company, you have seen how things are done. As opposed to the person who comes straight from campus and starts a business, they kind of miss out on that mentorship. Do you feel like that is a valid advantage?
Well, for me, when it comes to mentorship, first of all, it starts with you, the individual. What is your purpose in life, like I'd already said? Now, if you have an interest in starting a business, you might not have the money, but you have an uncle who has a business. You go there for mentorship, ask him questions. If you can volunteer, you volunteer as you learn. This is how they do it. And then you'll build your empire, your business. This is how the Sudidis started. They started from copying or learning from someone, and they said, hey, well, it can happen. You're getting my point? And once you have gotten that mentorship and you are self-driven, then God willing, you'll thrive.
Okay. So you're saying mentorship is really the initiative of the person that's seeking it.
You can mentor someone, but if they are not interested, you're wasting their time.
So you may be seemingly disadvantaged, but you seek out mentors, ask questions, what, you don't necessarily have to be employed to get that.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, I want us to talk about something else. So many people, whether in employment or in self-employment, just starting out their careers, face a thing of social pressure. It is unsaid, but it is very, very evident. Yeah. So, for example, you earn a salary of 800,000, 1 million. Starter salaries, really, after campus. But you want your life to be a certain way because you went to university and got a degree. You want to be able to go to the club on a Friday, enjoy a couple of beers, and be able to pay for them. You want to be able to send money back home. You want to be able to stay in a decent apartment. But realistically speaking, in the money that you may be earning at that time, it may not be very possible. So why is it very difficult for young people in that phase to live within their means? Why is this pressure a real thing?
Thank you very much. I had a discussion with a very senior comrade at my place of work.
Yeah.
And his argument was, this generation, when we would get a job, you'd buy goats, maybe buy a piece of land. But this generation, what happens is that someone gets a job, he wants to be in an apartment, he wants to drive a nice car, he wants an iPhone. It's like, what is wrong with this? With the liabilities.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, the generations are different.
Yes.
And priorities are now different.
Yes.
The generation, they call it the Gen Z. Their priorities are totally different from their parents' generations. And look what happened. I told him, you wait. He had a son. He was in Makerere.
Yeah.
I said, you wait when your son graduates. Let's see what happens.
Yes.
And guess what? The son graduated, was paid 1 million, but started with renting an apartment of 600,000. The same thing is buying an iPhone, and he's like, oh, Kato, you are right. Of course, this does not make the wrong right.
Yes.
The whole point I'm giving is that the priorities have changed, needs have changed because of technology, because of very, very many things. The most important thing is spend or live a life that you can afford.
So let's break it down. If I've finished uni and I want to stay in an apartment of 600,000, is it a genuine desire for decent housing, or are there people that I am trying to please, knowingly or unknowingly?
Well, I want to be very sincere on this. There are two things.
Yeah.
One, some people just do it sheepishly. They are copying. It is the style. So they want to look. The perception is like that.
Yes.
But to some other people, it is a question, or it is an issue of strategy.
Okay.
And the issue of strategy comes in because what you perceive to be attracts what you want in this current generation.
Yes.
If, for example, you wanted to do a consultancy, like me sometimes, when you want to do a consultancy, you have to appear smart. You're getting my point. If you're a lawyer, these days they say if you don't drive a Mercedes-Benz, it's not easy for you to be trusted to be given a job of, for example, 100 million. Yeah. So you start it with that as a strategy to attract what you don't have. But you have to be very, very careful. You have to have a budget. You have to be organized.
Yeah.
It is something you calculate that you do not do haphazardly. You have to think through about it, look at the returns, plan etc. So I'm trying to show you why some people behave the way they do. It's perception. But of course, some it is out of ignorance.
Yes.
And they have social pressures.
Yes.
Social pressures are what the society expects of you after you have attained a certain status. You are working in URA.
Yeah.
When you go back and you are on a border, they will look at you as a failure. That is a community now.
Yes.
They expect you to have a car, maybe stay in an apartment, have a very beautiful wife. You are getting my point. So if you are not careful, you will take heed to those pressures. Yeah. But they'll put you in the long run, they'll put you in a long ditch. That is why you see people getting loans, then they're on top-ups. in the end of the day, when they say stop, they don't even have where to start.
Yes.
To start from.
So you're saying that there are instances where it is actually justified.
Yeah.
Like in the case of career building
Yes.
or strategy. But let's talk briefly about the thing of black tax. One of the things that makes it tight for a person that is just starting in career is that on your 800,000 salary, for example, there are people back in the village who think that now that you graduated in engineering or law, they are entitled to a certain percentage.
That is very true.
Of your salary every single month, like clockwork. Is that another reason that people are forced to live beyond their means?
Yeah, that is very true. And that is a big challenge where I think we need to do a lot of mentorship and mindset change. People want to please others, and they forget to take care of themselves. You are getting my point?
Yes.
And they also have to fail to know that they should live within their means. Naya, if you want something from me, it is very, very fair of me to give you what I can afford.
Yes.
If I'm earning 800,000, then I can afford to give you 55,000 or 10,000.
Yes.
Maybe you need airtime. That is what I can afford. But if I stretch it to giving you 1 million and get a loan and even get a top up to give you 1 million, then I'm missing the point. I'm going somewhere different. So people need, first of all, to be sincere to themselves, to live within their means. The Bible is very clear. Do not conform to the standards of this world. The biggest challenge we have is people are living a life of a lie, and that is very dangerous.
But the thing of parents is a bit tight because, or maybe is it a communication gap? Because your parents have educated you and you are fresh out of school.
I want you to pay back.
They expect a little something. Is it maybe that they think you're earning 10 million when you're earning 800,000?
Well,
could it be a communication gap?
Partly, it has, when you get a job, maybe your parents have educated you. And you think you should, because by the way, if you are my parent and you can educate me, it's not a must that I should pay back.
But it is in our culture to be honorable.
But
parents.
I do it realistically.
Yeah.
Because honestly, look at the situation. I'm taking a loan, and maybe I'm going to it's going to affect me in the long run. I fail to meet my bills, and I'm your child. I then have to lose my job and come back and stay with you. Like you have said, there needs to be realism. You sit down with your parent, thank them for whatever they done, tell them this is what I earn and this maybe is what I can afford per month. And now it goes back to budgeting. Actually, if you are earning, for you to be very, to thrive, you have to live within your means. And how do you do that? You have to budget, to have a monthly budget. You have to have an emergency fund, for example. You have to have, you need to plan for your life. And when people demand, you can only tell them that this is it. And when you are budgeting, you plan mainly for essentials, not luxury. Because you have not reached that stage. If you can afford it, it's okay. But if you cannot afford, it's dangerous. I've heard of a situation where people, you are working with them, they have bought good cars, someone gets a salary of 1 million and spends it in 2 days. And you ask him, how are you going to go to work? He said, God will provide. And then they are calling him you end up being a nuisance. A burden to yourself and a nuisance to the community.
So very quickly, I want us to talk about the economy. Many starter salaries for young professionals are in a given range, which is not a lot of money.
I agree.
Is it time for us to start saying that, okay, fine, you are employed, and maybe it's a conversation that even employers have to be a part of, to say that you cannot keep these young professionals beyond certain hours because they are underpaid and they are overworked, and yet the money that they are earning is not enough to cover the bare essentials. Is it time for us to start the conversation of, even if you are employed, find something else to do to supplement the income? And can we involve the employers in the discussion to free up a bit of time?
Well, the majority of people who are working in Uganda in the private sector. And when you're in the private sector, you dance to the tunes of your boss because it's more about profit maximization.
Yes.
They do not care how long you work. They are up to results, up to making profits.
Exploitation.
And it's difficult. It's not something we are going to stop overnight.
Yes.
That is why I was encouraging, if you are working and you have been blessed to have a small capital, try to see if you can innovate and get something else. Look for other multiple sources of income. Yeah. Are you getting my point? And how do you do it? You do not have to, these things of being, crying. No, find time. If it means online trading at night, you sleep at around 2 or 12, but do something about it. If it means coming from home and you go and supervise your salon, do it. Okay. You're getting my point?
Yes.
You are still young, you have energy.
So it's something that needs to...
Yeah, that's something that needs to be done. Yeah. We are more of consumers.
Yes.
Very unfortunate. The generation, the Gen, you said it's a
Gen Z.
Gen Z generation.
Yes.
They are more into consumption.
Yes.
And that is okay.
Yes.
The choice is yours. You can choose to consume, but you'll pay the price.
And the other thing that is also very common among the Gen Z is that there are certain businesses that seem to be beneath them. How do I start a Rolex thing? I am a graduate lawyer. I am a graduate architect. Really, certain businesses.
I am sorry to say, but that is ignorance. If you cannot afford something, don't pretend. There's a person I talked to, he was a friend, and I said that I would want to support you. What kind of business can I start for you? Like a graduate, like you said.
Yes.
And that person bluntly told me, I proposed a boutique.
Yeah.
Person said, that is not my level. But the person didn't have a job. And they are entirely surviving on begging, on handouts.
Yeah. Somehow begging is their level.
And then the person is saying, that is not my level. So sometimes you fail to understand what priorities this person is looking at. And unfortunately, as time goes on, time will go out. These are the people you find in depression. These are the people that end up going into marijuana and all those kind of things and need to even be rehabilitated. And time will run out. And
So what do you think is the solution? Is it a mindset gap?
Yeah, I've been talking about mindset change. It's very important in our community. We need to have a mindset shift change. We don't need to think that when you study, you must get a job to survive. You are studying to get a job. Yes. That is a wrong mentality. Yes. You are studying, like I already told you, to use that knowledge to develop yourself. Whatever you do, to develop yourself. And it doesn't matter what you do.
Yes.
You're getting my point? Yes. As long as you're making money, at the end of the day is what you're putting on the table. Not what you do.
Yeah. I want us to talk about something that is a bit controversial. So as the young professional is still trying to find their footing, they're not earning a lot, they are already trying to balance a lifestyle that they can barely afford, and the clock is ticking. At some point, they have to start dating. But for many, especially gentlemen, these young men quickly realize that even dating has a price tag attached to it. You don't just say it's time for me to find somebody. They quickly realize that it may be, is it a product or service that you may or may not be able to afford at a given point in time?
Well, I want to be very sincere. I used to be called a ladies' man, and for a long time I didn't have a job.
Oh, wow.
The ladies really were they really liked me, even those who work. And I discovered a secret. Women are not interested, by the way, in your money. They're interested in one thing: security. Okay. Emotional security, financial security, physical security. As long as you can prove to a wife that you have a roadmap, this is what I am planning, this is what I am saving, this is what I can give you per month, this is the plan I have for you, that lady will stick to you. But if you prioritize in these short-term things of milkshake, pizza, data, etc., they will go away. They will look at you as someone who is actually, what do they call, you're an ATM.
Is that to say though, because I feel like you're talking about the ideal woman, There are women who are very, very interested in how much you are able to pay for a given date or a given outing, and they want to finish the entire menu.
And that is the Gen Z that I was talking about. You are taking time to impress someone who in the long run you are going to use. It's very, very unfortunate. You begin with being realistic. Realistic, what do I mean being realistic? Telling the person who you are in the first place.
Yes.
I am Kato Kagambirwe. I don't have a job maybe. I have this small kind of business, but I have this plan.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? And the lady that really loves you, that God has purposed for you, will stay. The one who is looking for something else will go. So at the end of the day, you will fit in your shoe. The lady that God has purposed for you will come. Other than spending money on 30 ladies who you are not going to get.
But are you saying for certain that those ladies actually exist?
They are the majority these days.
Are they?
Yeah, they are the majority these days. Ladies, like I told you, they want fancy life. They want a fancy life, lavish living. They want to be driven in good cars. They want to be taken to Cafe Javas. That is okay. But that is for the short term. And this is determined by, first of all, your age and how long you've been working.
Yeah.
If, for example, you have spent 2 years working, what you can do is just have a temporary fancy life.
Yeah.
But for someone who has 50 years and has been working and has a lot of money, you cannot compete with that person. So why don't you be realistic in the first place and get the person that is suitable for you?
Yes.
You're getting my point? Not living within your means is a very dangerous trait.
So you're saying that it's an issue of choice. The people who suffer those challenges are the people who have not made the right choice of people to date or people to have.
Well, for me, I think it is an issue of priority. For me, when I was going to look out for a woman, I was going to look out for a person I am going to marry, for a person I'm going to build my life with, for the person I'm going to stay with for the rest of my life. And driving that person in, for example, a Mercedes-Benz, when I don't have rent for next month, would be a lie on myself. I prefer rather I drive an old X-Trail, but I can afford to tell you that let's plan for 3 years. Maybe we can have a plot and start building. And I put you in that plan, in that roadmap.
Yes.
And a reasonable person would think and would say, this person is taking me somewhere.
Okay.
So it depends on the priority. Other people have other things that they're interested in.
Yeah.
And incidentally, you will find someone else who is compatible. You want to have sex, you want to go for trips, you want to show off, showbiz. It is okay.
Okay.
But that is temporary.
So let's assume for a moment that you actually find a person who is ready to buy the fact that you have a big vision, even though resources at the moment are limited. So you convince that person to move in with you, they've become your family. But the situation is that in your field, in your profession, you're still upcoming, rising, and your salary is commensurate with your position at that particular point in time. Then it becomes a thing of when you have to pay bills, what happens? Because vision cannot pay the bills. You have a big vision, fine, but you still have your salary of, I don't know how much.
Well, this goes back to planning, like I already told you. When you're going to marry someone, for me, what I did, there's what they call having a roadmap. You're getting my point? You sit down and you plan your life and do it realistically.
Yes.
And how does this work? The most important aspect in any relationship, at least you need to have some kind of financial independence, or you have some finances.
Yeah.
So if both of you, even if it is one, is having finances, how do you plan within your means? You start with a budget. When you have a budget, you prioritize needs against wants. There are things that you can do without for some time. There are things that are an emergency that you have to be with. So you start with that, and lastly, have a saving culture. You're getting my point?
Yeah.
So that is the starting point.
So you're saying it's not a thing of how much a person is earning at a given point in time, but rather a thing of planning.
Yeah, it is, and that is entirely, you have to agree, the two, you have to consent. I can be earning 50,000 shillings and we're happy. We have had people who are earning 300,000 shillings and they are married and they have built houses, they are happy, they even have triplets.
Simon, realistically speaking, at what point do we say that a certain amount of money is not enough, whether we turn it how over how?
Well, from my experience, money has never been enough. There's a time I was earning some salary, they even tripled it, but money still was not enough. Because needs, you know, the higher Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the needs will always be many.
They keep increasing.
They keep increasing.
But surely there has to be a lower limit beyond which really life is.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's even biblical. You see, poverty is a curse. For you to put someone in your father's house, then you have to make them happy. You are getting my point? You have to work hard. And I believe in God. When you pray, God will bless you. You are getting my point? Work hard, save, love each other unconditionally. That woman that will come and start putting prices on you does not love you. He's loving you with conditions. When you marry someone, you must love them unconditionally.
Thank you, Simon. And finally, even as we try to wrap up, speaking of marriage, you find that many young people, once they've reached a place where they are ready to get married, they find another very big roadblock. Wedding ceremonies and affiliated ceremonies, as we know them today, are not one for the faint of heart, but they are also not very affordable ventures. So you find that a lot of people really want to get married and settle down and avoid the ladies that you've been talking about who want to chop the money. But they find a roadblock where, fine, you want to get married, but you just can't afford to do these weddings as we know them today. Where is the problem? Who is to blame?
Now, Pastor Naya, when you say you can't afford, I disagree with you. You are supposed to do what you can afford. At whatever level you can afford what you can afford.
The biggest cupcakes. Can you cut cupcakes?
No, I'm trying to break it down for you. If, for example, I am earning 500,000 shillings, I can afford to get a loan of 2 million, go to church, wed in a very modest dressings, go to a restaurant, give my parents food and a few friends, and we go home. I have seen this in Europe. When I was in Europe, people go to church, they start even walking on the streets, and they are happily married. But it goes back to what you are saying. Not living within your means and conforming to the standards of this world. You want to prove a point, yet you can not afford to prove that point. And in the long run, you are the one who gets those consequences. We have had very many people who have, after 1 year, after 6 months, have had to divorce because the marriage is financially constrained. They took loans, the bank is on their case, and it is a source of disagreement, and the marriages break. So what I'm trying to tell you here is anybody, I believe, can afford to get married. But it depends on what you want. There are these mass weddings. You can go to that. Okay.
So assuming that you're willing to be humble enough to do a small wedding, there's usually another roadblock, and that roadblock is in dowry. So you're willing to go for a mass wedding which is free, meaning that you've really humbled yourself. And then, so you go to introduce the idea to your in-laws, and they say, to take our daughter, you need to first bring 15 cows.
Now, I understand that, but people need to understand whatever culture, whatever it is, marriage is not a business. Actually, if I'm marrying your wife, I'm doing your daughter, I'm doing you a favor. Why should I buy her? These things we give, it's like a token of respect, of appreciation that you have given me about. But when you start tagging prices
Yes.
to it, then you are making it
But
business
it's
transaction.
a thing that is deeply rooted in our culture. our tradition.
The cultures will always change, and the world is evolving. In my own incidents, when I was going to marry my wife, I told her, with all due respect, I know people's expectations because of where I work.
Yes.
So they could, put the bride price high. But I want to agree with you because it is you I'm marrying. I'm not marrying your parents. I want to agree with you. This is what I can afford. Go and talk to your parents. If they cannot afford, then we can look at something else. But this is what I'm not going to give what I cannot afford. And thank God, she talked to her parents when we went there. What we agreed is what they told us to bring. And I was very comfortable with that. But the biggest problem you have is because you are working, I don't want to mention the organization you are working in, you want to prove that you have money, you have a convoy of 100 cars,
Yes.
you are getting my point?
Yes.
That perception, and at the end of the day, it is affecting the marriage. So we need to be realistic, and the parents need to understand that giving me your daughter is, you are not doing me a favor, but it is you are blessing her to go and start her own marriage. So it's not a business.
Even as we finish up, so you're talking to two parties. You're talking to the young person who is facing all of these roadblocks, okay? And they are trying to make decisions based on the training and programming that they have, and given all the things that are rooted in our culture. On the other hand, you're also talking to the parents who have sold cows, sold land, and their daughters have now come of age. And they feel like, no, the young man can't just come and... You're talking to these two people. How do we begin to reframe those things? How do we begin to shift our mindset to what is applicable, the thing that we must do today?
Well, it is quite challenging in our society because of the cultures and traditions and whatever it is. But there needs to be a mindset change. There needs to be a mindset change that is driven towards realism. You are getting my point. You don't strain people because you want to make money out of something. It is a marriage is an aspect or a matter of mutual understanding.
Yes.
It should not be a business of exchanging money, putting price tags. So I appeal to the parents. And this is where we started from, Naya.
Yes.
Mentorship is very, very, very important. Even those parents need to have been mentored to know that the woman, the girl they have produced is not a product or is not a business, what do they call it? Like you are selling a car we bought. This is a human being that God has ordained, that God has put there to join someone in marriage, and they procreate. It is biblical.
Yes.
You're getting my point?
Yes.
So I pray that churches, I pray that other religions, whatever it is, and traditions emphasize mutual understanding when it comes to marriage.
Wow.
Actually, mutual understanding goes hand in hand with mutual respect. If I'm marrying your daughter and you are straining me, you are stressing me to get a loan of paying you 20 cows, really, you don't respect me. You're getting my point?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And how will I even perceive you? I'll start beating your daughter left, right, and center. I'll tell you after I paid this. Why? It's like I have a robot, these smart houses now, they have those robots.
So we do have sufficient reason to move away from that way of thinking.
Yeah, of course. Now, like I told you, we were in the .com era, the first, second, and third generation.
Yeah.
We have to accept that the world is evolving. And the sooner we adapt, the better. This is what I'm always telling the other generations. There has to be, what do they call it? It's like people have to cooperate with each other, the young ones, and come up with the concrete the decision, other than imposing. Imposing is very dangerous.
Wow. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching from. We hope that you have enjoyed this conversation. We'd like to invite you to be a part of this conversation on these various subjects that we have been talking about today. You will be able to find our social media platforms at the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and subscribe, engage, join the conversation. What are some of the things that you see that you feel like we need to start to have conversations about? Because that's precisely what we are about here at Reframe. We deconstruct beliefs, norms, and practices with the aim of finding out what works and must be preserved, what doesn't work anymore, that we need to start to change. My name is Naya, and today I have been with Kato Simon Kagambire. Thank you so much
Welcome.
for joining us. I hope that you'll be able to join us on many more of these episodes. It has been nice to have you today. Please go ahead and join us, engage, and we shall catch you on the next one. This is Reframe, and have a nice one.
Thank you, Reframe.